Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another art doll video. So this one is going to be a little process on how I did the Black Panther. So I did this as part of a set with another Jaguar, the regular coloured one. So they're going to be up in my shop. It is available as we speak. So this one has a little open jaw, a little bit different than the other one. So I just wanted to put two different expressions on the Jaguars. So normally if I do big cat things and they come in a different colorway, I do the colorway as well, or a different pattern, something like that. So originally we started off with this faux fur because I wanted the rosettes to show through, and then I airbrushed it in black, just so it's not just a solid black. I wanted these rosettes to come through, so it was a sort of experiment with that faux fur, but it still feels soft. Pretty happy with the way this turned out. It is posable, ball and socket armature, so you can pose it in a lot of different ways. But yeah, that is the little black Jaguar. So if you wanted to see how I made her, then keep watching. Okay, so I'm starting off by using a aluminium core, foil core, and this basically acts as a skull, and then I'm going to be covering it in Sculpting Original, so that's a bit of a softer polymer clay, just because I like working with softer polymer clays, and because this piece is going to have an open mouth, what I'm doing is not including the lower jaw in this top of the head sculpt. And then I'm going to be sculpting the lower portion of the jaw using a combination of Super Sculpey, which is like a beige colour, Sculpey translucent, and some Sculpey that I have coloured myself, and that would be for the tongue. So I'm basically just sculpting out the lower inner jaw section where the teeth are going to sit, and just making some markings where I want those teeth to be with some ball tools. And then I'm going to get my translucent Sculpey and fill in those little gaps with just small pieces and just adding a little detailing once it's all together. And then with the tongue, I added a tiny bit of red paint pigment just to get that pinky colour, because I didn't want it the beige colour. So I added a tiny bit of paint and mixed it in to create the tongue colour. So I'm just going ahead and sticking that on, and then adding some little detailing using my needle tool. And then I go ahead and pre-bake this lower jaw piece just for a couple of minutes to make sure it's nice and solid. And then I can start adding the base to my lower jaw. So I'm using Sculpting Original for this one. And I basically wanted the inside bit to be sort of hard, so I can go ahead and sculpt the rest of it around the face. It's not a movable jaw, so I only have to do one more bake. I'm going to attach the lower jaw and finish the head off before I bake it. And at this point I wasn't too sure if this was going to be the regular coloured Jaguar, so I just went ahead and made the nose in the Super Sculpey colour, the beige colour, just in case I wasn't feeling this one being a black one. So I also made the black version and the regular coloured version. So I wanted to sculpt them both before I decided which one was going to be which, but this one was had the intention to be black because I wanted the mouth to sort of break up the black a little bit. And then I can go ahead and add a little bit more detailing around the muzzle area. So I'll do this part first, and then once I'm happy with the way this is looking, I can start adding the lower jaw. So I basically just plonked it on there and then sort of molded it in place, and I'm going to be doing the lip in this lip area. So there's an easy way to make the lip, I don't even know what you call it, the little lip bit. You roll out I rolled out a pretty long piece of clay and then ran it along the jawline and blended it in. Once I'm happy with the way that's looking, I'm going to go and add some eye wells or eye sockets to accommodate the cabochons that I'm using. So I am using glass cabochons for the eyes, and I chose to go with like an amber color for this one. The other Jaguar I did like an ambery green color. So the next step is to basically sculpt in a look that I like. So just sculpting in the eyelids, and I do this by rolling out another snaky piece of clay and then just sort of pushing it down and creating a look that I want. So I wanted a little bit of a snarky look to it, but not too snarky. And the other Jaguar is going to have a softer look. Once I'm happy with the way the eyes are looking, I can start building up on the brow line. I always have reference images up on my computer next to me to make sure that I'm getting the face structure right, because a lot of the big cats are very, very similar, but they have slight differences to make them look like the type of big cat that they are. So I'm just slowly building up around the eye area. Some of them have really pronounced brows, so like a snow leopard, it's got a really pronounced brow. Whereas the Jaguar is really sort of streamlined but stocky at the same time. So for the ears, I roll out 2 bits of clay roughly the same size, so the ears end up the same size as well, and sort of squish it out with my fingers, and I can then attach it to the head. So then I go ahead and add a little bit of fur texture to the areas that are a bit thinner, just to, always done that, sort of blends the fur in a little bit better and helps with fur direction. Right, so that's the Jaguar head sculpted, so that can go and be baked. In the meantime, I'm not going to bake this at the same time. I'm just wait for I finish sculpting the paws. So paws are really simple. I just roll out equal parts of clay 4 times, and then sort of add the toes individually, and I find that works the best and it's the fastest method. I can sculpt a paw in about 10-15 minutes now. So I think the key is rolling out equal parts of clay for each piece that you're doing, and it basically means that you can keep the foot shape the same size. So once I'm done sculpting the feet, I can go ahead and pop everything in the oven and wait for it to basically bake and cool down, and then I can start adding the armature. So I'm using a 1/4 size ball and socket armature for this one. That's my medium size. I've got some reference images up on my computer to make sure I'm getting the structure right. Skeleton pictures work really well, and just sort of comparing my ball and socket joints to the same size as the skeleton basically. Once I'm happy with everything that is looking, I am going to be needle felting the body. So I use pipe cleaners to go around the armature, and that basically catches the polyfill. Otherwise it's a little bit slippery on the plastic ball and socket armature, so this just basically keeps it in place. I also decided to paint all of the pieces black because this is going to be the Black Panther. So I didn't want white coming through because it's kind of easy to see through the fur. So I painted everything black to make sure there's no see-through. So then I can begin needle felting my body. So this basically acts as like a muscle tone before I add the faux fur on top. I find that works really well to get a more refined body instead of using a pattern. So for this particular doll, I decided to go with a different type of just like a different way of making it. So I found some faux fur with rosettes on it already, and my theory was to airbrush so the rosettes would see through. I didn't want a solid black Jaguar. I wanted the rosettes to come through a little bit, so I found this fur. It's really, really soft but really, really hard to work with. It doesn't cut well with the tool that I use, so there was a little bit of a different process to attaching the fur for this one. So basically I'm just cutting out a torso shaped size, just measuring it, sort of winging it. So I start off by doing the torso piece, and then I add the limbs and the tail and the neck. So I basically just put it on the body, trim it to size, and sew it all up using a ladder stitch and a good quality thread, because you need to have a bit of tension on that thread and you don't want it to snap. A lot of the cheap threads really easily snap, or you can get some upholstery thread, which works great as well. So the same deal with the leg area, just going and attaching those just around the leg, and then refining, cutting all the pieces, the extra off, and sewing it up using the ladder stitch again. Alright, so once everything has been sewed, I'm going to sew it up, glue it up using some tacky fabric glue. So this is just a stock standard fabric glue that I've gotten from my local store called Spotlight. I'm not sure if I sell this exact one anymore, but they have something really, really similar. It's just clear and it's really tacky. I usually leave it overnight to fully dry, but it will dry in 5 hours or something. So I do that around the neck and all of the feet. I didn't grab any airbrushing footage, but I do have some on my TikTok, so here's a little snippet of how I did the airbrushing. So I attached the fur to the face, and just using my airbrush to go over everything in the black. It took a little while because my airbrush is quite small and it's more for a it's more of a detailing airbrush, but we got it to work and it looked really, really well. I'm really happy with the way the rosettes are showing through, and as always, comb it out once you've added that paint on top of it, just so the fur stays nice and soft. So that's a little snippet of the airbrushing, but this guy is available, or this girl, I'm getting girl vibes, available in my shop at creaturesnet.com. You can just send me a message. I have payment plans available, so I make it super flexible as well. Just send me a message and we can chat about it. But that is my little Jaguar, black Jaguar. So thank you for watching. You can check me out on Instagram, Facebook and TikTok, and don't forget to like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.